Hey guys, in the last video, video 2, we finished by talking about the heredity nature of intelligence tests. Next, we're going to talk about sex differences in intellectual functioning. We talked about in the second video how girls tend to perform better on verbal parts of IQ test. Boys tend to perform better on performance or things that are visual, spatial, and mathematic. Could there be a biological difference? And what we find is yes, there is a biological difference. When we look at the brains of men and women, we find that men's brains tend to be more specialized, meaning, for instance, when they speak, um, only the left hemisphere where language lights up. Things such as emotions on the right do not light up. Where women tend to use their whole brains and are less specialized. Therefore, women tend, verbal, when women speak, brings about emotion for them. Therefore, they are more likely to be more verbal, and we see this in women, in that women do speak more words a day on average than men, and therefore may do better in the verbal performance on an IQ test. Sorry about that. Um, Having some technical difficulties here. Before. There we go. Um, Next, we're going to look at some environmental influences. Like the last video told you, intelligence is not all genetic. So it's not all your DNA and what you were given at birth. There are important things that we can do in the environment to help improve a child to be more analytical and to do better in academic setting. One of the things we find that is most important, like I said 0 to 5, but even up to the age of 8, the more enrichment and learning you can give a child in early childhood, the better their academic ability is going to be and better their reasoning ability. Kids are sponges at this age. They want to learn. Those centers of their brain are most active. So the more you stimulate those centers in a fun way, the better those pathways are going to be in the brain. Therefore, the better they're going to do long term. Also, it can be influenced by parenting styles. We talk more about this in human growth and development, that there are 4 parenting styles. There are authoritarian parents, there are authoritative parents, there are indulgent parents, and there are neglectful parents. Authoritarian parents are very strict, don't show a lot of warmth and positive emotion. Um, they're the it's my way or the highway parent. The authoritative parent does set boundaries and rules, which are very important. But they also show warmth and support. So they praise the child when the child does things well, which encourages them to try new things. The indulgent parent, the problem with the indulgent parent is they don't set any boundaries. In these households, a lot of times the kids rule the household. Therefore, they don't learn to control behavior and learn boundaries that are important for the academic ability. There's a lot of creativity in an indulgent home, but it's not managed well. A neglectful home or a neglectful parent is uninvolved with their child. That may mean they're physically not in the house with their child, or it may mean they do live with the child, they just really don't have anything to do with the child. They don't interact with the child. Of course, this is going to affect the child's intelligence because they're not learning from a more educated person. We also know early childhood education can be very important. Let's say you don't have a home environment that's enriching. Let's say there are some neglectful parents in the home. Well, then one thing that can help is to have an enriched environment where other adults are teaching you these skills early on. This is why Head Start was started, because we saw this IQ difference in middle and upper class compared to working class and poverty, and that these children were not getting those enriched environments they needed on average. So if we could set up early childhood education that was subsidized by the government, then these children could get the start they needed before getting into elementary school. You need to realize intelligence is a complex subject. There's a lot that goes in to good intellectual functioning. Of course, genetic factors. Of course, just like we talked about, stimulating environment, home, and in school. And then other things that are going to be part of the person's personality or just things in the environment, such as their health. If your kid's sick all the time, they're going to miss a lot of school. They're going to not be able to have these enriched environments. Achievement motivation. If they're not motivated to learn at a young age, then they're not going to learn these skills. Um, a belief that education and achievement are key to self-fulfillment. And that really, I believe, comes from the parents. How much do you put on education and how much do you encourage your child on education? All of these can affect their intelligence and cognitive ability. Last thing, this is a video link that I'll also put with the links to the videos that I'm having you listen to right now. This is a video link of a professor at another college who's talking more about the genetic versus environmental factors of intelligence that I thought was pretty cool and you might want to think about. This is all the information that you need to know for the test, including the lecture we had in class on Wednesday. So you will have a test on Monday over this material of intelligence, over memory and learning. If you have questions while you're studying, please feel free to contact me. These are just the ranges, lastly, of mental retardation or intellectual disability. I told you below 70 IQ is mild. Um, Anywhere from 35 to 40 to 50 to 55 is moderate. Severe, 20, 25, 35 to 40 is severe. And profound is anything under 25. 85% of our cases with an intellectual disability do have mild. So they're able to handle about up to 6th grade education. Once material gets above that level, they really struggle and can't comprehend and grasp that information. A lot of times they can go to vocational training. If you know someone with an intellectual disability or a child with an intellectual disability, they really need to get them set up with the Department of Rehabilitative Services because they can get them trained as they get older to do a job so they can be productive in society. They're going to need some specialized help in their care, possibly with finances and things. But besides that, they are able to function on their own. So that is the end of the information, and I will see y'all on Monday.